Yes, the stock market is crashing, and yes, people are panicking about a recession. But what does that mean for us in Miami? Now, what that means is you're going to want to start saving money, and you're going to want to not spend so frivolously. Meaning, if you buy something, let's say you buy a car, instead of putting 5% down, put 20% down so your payments are lower. Or go and buy a used car, not a new car, because it's going to be cheaper. You want to start limiting your exposure to just all the chaos that could potentially happen. So you don't want these high monthly payments. You don't want to go buy things that you don't necessarily need. You want to stay comfortable. You want to be confident in situations like this in case something does happen. You don't want to buy any boats. And maybe it's not the time to take all the vacations that you've always wanted to take. Yeah, you could, but then you eat up all your savings. Please do not overextend yourself. Miami is already way too expensive as it is. So, nothing new. Stay calm, stay confident, stick it out. Let's talk about the unemployment rate. So, the unemployment rate is high right now at 4.3%. And a lot of people I think it's gonna go even higher. Now, what does that mean? That means your job could potentially be laying you off. You could be fired. You might be forced to move to a different location. All of those things are possibilities, right? And that's why you want that extra money in your bank account in case that happens. Then you're covered. You're comfortable. A lot of tech companies are actually laying people off and freezing hiring and maybe even decreasing their workforce because we need to limit our exposure. We want to be safe. We want to make sure that we don't have to close down the business if these things go through and there is a recession and nobody's pumping money into the economy. So if you think these big companies are laying people off to limit their risk and to decrease their payroll, you should do the same, right? You shouldn't go rack up a bunch of monthly bills and all these things. You should play the same game that they play. They play that game for a reason. You want to play that game too. But a lot of the tech companies, like AI, for example, is making massive leaps and bounds in replacing people in jobs. And AI costs significantly less than a human. I mean, AI can replace you and you. There's a monthly subscription maybe, but there's no health insurance. There's no dental insurance. There's no car insurance needed. There's no, it works 24/7. So a lot of jobs are getting replaced by AI, and a lot of people are going to be unemployed because that's the way things are headed right now. How will housing in Miami be affected by all of this unemployment and the stock market and all these things? Well, if we actually head into a recession, people are going to lose their jobs. They're going to sell their stocks at a loss. They're going to lose a ton of money. And maybe they can't afford their monthly payment on their property. Well, that means that they're going to be selling that property, selling the car, trying to unload what they built when we were in the current state of a good economy. When you have money to spend, you start building these things, but if you can't withhold and withstand your monthly payments, then you have to unload. And typically when you unload at a loss. So a lot of semi-truck drivers, they go and they buy a semi-truck on a loan, and then that's their source of income, right? But when stuff starts to go south and they can't afford to make that payment on that truck, they got to sell their truck. And they're going to sell their truck at a loss. Same goes for a house. Same goes for Tesla owners, for car owners, for vehicle owners. Anybody that can't keep up with the monthly payment is going to sell at a loss. Now, the average 2-bedroom rent in Miami is $2,651. That is crazy expensive. A lot of people cannot afford that. And a lot of people, unfortunately, are racking up a ton of credit card debt. They're struggling to make payments on the credit card debt, so then they get behind on payments, and then the payments spiral out of control, and they're paying so much interest every month that they're not able to keep up. If you are paying 20% interest on a credit card, It is so hard to earn 20% on your money anywhere. It is so hard. So in order to earn at that pace, it depends how much credit card debt you have, right? If you have $50,000 of credit card debt, which I know some people have, 20% on that is $10,000. So if you're paying $10,000 a year in interest from your credit card, you gotta out earn that, because that stacks and that stacks and that stacks, and that becomes hard to do. So a lot of people go down that spiral, and as unfortunate as it is, they're kind of stuck there unless they make some sort of really good investment decision or whatever. But it's hard to invest in yourself when you can't even get out of that spiral right there. So I hope not a lot of people are in that situation, but I know some people are with their rent. They spend so much on rent just to live here that they start racking up credit card bills. Same goes for car bills. They get under a car that's too expensive for them. They can't make the monthly payments. Then they go to try to sell that car, and they can't because it's worth a lot less than what they bought it for. Like for me, for example, when I bought my Tesla, I bought it for $44,000. Today, it's worth like $20,000. So if I wanted to sell that car, I would have to come out of pocket to do so. So a lot of people don't have the luxury or the ability to be able to come out of pocket and do something like that. So then they're just stuck. And then they're driving around without insurance, and then they get in an accident, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is, they can't afford to fix their car or whatever the case may be. So it's an interesting scenario, but it's all a cycle and a circle. Not to mention electric bills have gotten extremely expensive in the Miami area. They keep raising the price for that. We have a hurricane going on right now, so you know that there's going to be a bunch of insurance claims. Tampa's underwater, so insurance is going to go up significantly. You can count on that. Every single hurricane or storm rises and raises insurance rates like crazy. So that's going to be wild when we see those numbers come out as to how much insurance is going to increase. You know, taxes are going to go up. I mean, in Coral Gables, they just voted to increase our taxes yet again. Super wild. So electric taxes and gas and just everything is super expensive. So I'm here for you. I am here to support you. Y'all are doing great. Keep working. Keep hungry. Stay hungry. Everything's going to be all right. You're going to make it through. If you're looking for a realtor in the Miami area, or if you want to sell some property, maybe it's a condo, right? You want to sell your condo because you know that insurance is going to increase, and you know the HOA fees are going to increase, and you don't want to deal with it anymore. If you want to sell it, let me know. I'm going to put my contact information below here. I've helped a lot of people do that recently. If you want to get into something, if you want to buy something, I'm here to help you find the things that the sellers are hiding, because they're always hiding something. So it's our job to find that. So that's kind of that. Hope you all have a great day. Bye.